The following presentation is brought to you in association with Asylum Wargaming.
And Rencon. It's the Andy and Remington Steel Show on a Tuesday night. It's the Andy and Remington Steel Show for your home delight. Talking about Age of Sigmar and everything else that is cool. Talking about Warhammer fantasy, it's easy to learn the rules. It's the Andy and Remington Steel Show on a Tuesday night. It's the Andy and Remington Steel Show for your home delight.
Wonderful as always, Mr. Remington. Now, folks, the first thing you'll notice is that we're supposed to have a guest tonight, and he is not present. That's because we've spent the last half hour or so wrestling with various American internet technical difficulties. It seems that out there, all the internet is actually powered by a hamster running around in a wheel, and that hamster was a little bit exhausted tonight. But apparently, Mr. Shawn is having new extra fast internet installed in a week or two, so we're going to get him back on the show at the earliest possible opportunity. Of course, that's very disappointing, isn't it, Mr. Remington?
It is disappointing, and what's equally disappointing, Andy, is I noticed that less and less as the weeks go by, do you let the audience see me singing my song? It seems you just put the image up, and you want to cover me up, but I'm here. There's no stopping me. All right, I've got some brand new songs for you tonight.
Brand new songs. Well, there's something to be excited about, folks. That's going to ease the pain of our guest being unable to join due to technical difficulties, which we'll continue to state at various points throughout the show in case people are just tuning in late.
I'm absolutely gutted, by the way, because Shawn's somebody I wanted to meet for like 6 years, I think. I've been watching on and off, what he does at Blue Table Painting, especially when I first got back into the hobby, 2010. There was only a handful of channels making Warhammer Fantasy content, and Shawn was the most prolific person doing it. So, for someone painting an army and painting a massive army at that, to have like something going on in the background and something that makes you feel like this game was actually happening, is a big...
Well, you did get to have a very brief robotic chat with him a minute ago. How did you enjoy that?
I don't think he saw me. I was waving and I was like doing shockwaves of happiness, but I got no response.
It was a very emotional few minutes for Mr. Remington, but the show would have been unwatchable, unfortunately, more so than usual. So, shall we see who's made it onto the fabled active users list for tonight? Bum, 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 bum. Oh, this is quite a list. We've got Alexandra Dimitru, Bazooka J. Rambo, Benjamin Powell, Dan DeYoung, Dave Nat, Gloomdreddy Gaming, Graham Rigg, I Don't Know 46, Master Dwalin, Mickey Genver, Mike Hunt, Mr. Monter, Peltheron, Ramv, Ratface, Rob Lloyd, sweet, Sebastian Blau, Skeleton Flower, and Stronghold TV. And anyone else new popped in while I was talking? Doesn't look like it. So, folks, we're going to have to improvise a little bit and think on the fly here, but that's what we do best. We have got a plethora of topics to delve into, regardless of whether we have guests or not. So, first things first, shall we have a look at the old new releases section?
Oh, yes, my favourite.
The old GW website. Here we go. So, not a huge amount of really exciting new stuff, but there are some bundles here. So you can see they've got a nice bundle for the Silver Tower plus the extra hero pack now. You can see them lurking in the background there.
There's not a discount now, though, is there? I think that's kind of...
well, there's already a discount built into the extra hero pack, isn't there? This one here. £35 for 4.
Okay, so it's just ease of clickiness then.
It's ease of clickiness for the bundle, but this pack does have a discount on it. You're basically getting 4 heroes for the price of 2, pretty much there. And they've got some bundles with all the Flesh Eater stuff here. Quite a nice bundle there, I think you'll agree.
Yeah, I like that army.
It is pretty tasty, isn't it?
I was going to say something about painting ghouls, though. I don't know how many of you guys out there have painted these Games Workshop ghouls in the past, but the thing is with these guys, most of the model you don't see on the tabletop because they're stooping over and crawling around. So
Sniffing each other's butts.
That's right. You spend ages on the faces and stuff, but you can't actually see them unless you bend right down. It's all about the backs with those guys, I guess.
Yeah, you couldn't see them at all, really, in the previous edition when you had them all ranked up. If you could rank them up anyway without them sticking the noses up each other's butts.
I think it'd be cool if they had a couple of poses where, you know, the ghouls are kind of like standing with their arms, you know, up in the air, like triumphant or kind of scaring people.
Yeah, for some reason, when someone turns into a ghoul, they start to hunch forwards. Maybe it's to do with all the things poking out their back.
Uh-huh.
Who knows? They're like mini crypt horrors with butt sniffing capabilities. And other than that, they've got another Warhammer Quest bundle that also has the 2 white dwarfs with the hero details in them, and the book as well, the novel. £109 for that particular bundle. Let's see if there's anything interesting on page 2. I bet there isn't. I want more Flesh Eater stuff. Now, really, I don't know how this Vargulf qualifies as a new release. I suppose because it's on a round base now. Nothing else too shiny in there, but there is something else, actually. If we look over here, look at this. They've got some new paints, and they've started doing bases as well.
Oh,
obviously, we're not going to look too much at these particular ones because these are rather 40k-ish. But this is obviously going to open the floodgates for more products like this. Now, I imagine it's only a matter of time before we get Age of Sigmar bases.
yeah, or Silver Tower bases, you know, based on the tiles.
Yeah. What do you think of this, though?
I don't know, how much? £20?
£20, and that would be...
How many?
Let's see how many you get in the £20 box, just so we've got some idea. Okay, you get all those for £20.
Oh, all right. Well, that's better than I thought.
Yeah, it's not bad, really. It's cheaper than if you were buying resin bases, I imagine.
Yeah. How do they come though? Are they just blank?
I think they just come like that. I think they're just plastic.
They look painted.
Yeah, those are painted, but they wouldn't come painted.
Yeah, I think that's a smart move for Games Workshop to do more of that stuff, because there's lots of like other companies doing it, like from Poland and stuff.
Yeah, and Games Workshop can be very competitive on prices on items like this, whereas other companies that are doing them in resin, usually you don't get that many bases for your money.
Yeah. Oh, let's have a look at the large base one.
Yeah, this one here, there's a large base decoration kit, so you don't actually get a base in this one, you just get a lot of bits to put on the base, like so.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Well, they really should do that for fantasy, shouldn't they?
They certainly should. I'm sure they will at some point very soon. Also, we've got some paints as well that are new.
Okay, cool.
First of all, let's talk about gloss shades. Do you think you would have any call to use a gloss shade?
I will definitely give these things a go. I've been reading that these are especially formulated to make gems look shiny, because some models have a lot of gems on them, and getting the glint is it takes a little bit of practice to know where to put that glint. You know, it's actually, you do it in the darkest bit when the temptation is to highlight up. But these glosses, as they're called, I believe you just put like a metal layer, and then you put either red, green, or blue gloss over it, and then boom, you get a shiny gem.
Well, this gemstone paint collection, of course, goes into that as well. Presumably, you would actually paint the gem with this, and then if you wanted to wash it with a gloss wash afterwards. Because these gemstone paints, apparently, you can make gemstones that look like that using them.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it looks more like a gem. Yeah, I suppose it does, doesn't it? Yeah, I'll give these a go, definitely.
I'm not sure how the gemstone paint actually works, whether you just apply it straight on there on its own and it'll be fine.
I mean, that green, Andy, you could do a whole Stormcast army's armor in that stuff. It looked great.
Maybe.
Shiny green.
So I'd like to hear what the audience think about these paints, whether they'll be using or trying out the new gemstone paints or gloss washes. Because the way I feel about washes is I don't really want that to be the final layer on something, so it doesn't matter whether it's gloss or matte, because I'm always going to varnish it anyway. So if I want something to be shiny, then the last thing I do is going to be gloss varnish on it. So I don't see the purpose in having a different finish on washes. If anyone has any ideas on how that would be useful, then let me know. I'm sure there are some pro painting experts out there in the audience.
What about these metal paints at the bottom? Is that new too?
Well, yes, as a matter of fact. New metallics. So the Stormhost Silver is the one they recommend using with the gems.
Yeah.
I think you apply that first and then paint the gemstone colour over it.
Right.
These are just some new metallics though, pretty standard stuff. Let's have a look on this page. Yeah, there's the gemstone ones. But these new metallics, a brass colour that seems to be a little bit lighter than their other brass colours. It's almost gold, isn't it?
Yeah.
And copper. Very Necron oriented, this. Maybe they're about to get a new release or something. Stormhost Silver. It looks very smooth. I'm not sure whether that's just the way they apply it though. But I'm veering away from GW metallics entirely because I find that they just dry up too fast. I don't know what you think. Also, I don't think the coverage on them is that good. It takes quite a lot of layers to actually cover whatever colour you put underneath. It's still difficult.
I find you have to constantly shake them as well. You can't just shake it once. You've got to shake it every couple of minutes.
1,000 times. You need one of those paint shakers.
Now, we were just saying before we came on air, Andy, that there's certain GW paints, Citadel paints, that dry up quicker than others. And I have to confess, and this isn't a nerd confession, by the way, that comes later, but I've been noticing that Avalon Sunset, Wild Rider Red, and Mephiston Red are the ones that seem to dry up really quick. And I keep buying duplicates of those.
We had a few comments here. Mr. Bazooka J. Rambo is talking about the gloss washes. He thinks the reason for them is, and the reason they're advertised with a Necron, is because normal washes dull down and matte finish on metals, which is true. But do people out there really use a wash as the final coat of paint on a model? Does no one else use varnish in this world? Mr. Remington, do you use varnish?
I did. Last model I varnished was that elf character. Yeah, the one with the falcon.
Score the Falconer.
Yeah, that's right. And I feared that I put too much gloss on it. But when I got my Wood Elves out the other week with you at Warhammer World, that figure looked really kind of nice and shiny and new, whereas the other ones look really dull after a few years of having painted them a few years ago. So
paint chips.
Yeah, not so much paint chips, but
one or two of them, and especially the way you transport your armies as well, going over speed bumps without any protective foam.
What, just shoving them all in a box and just hoping they'll stay up? Yeah, I suppose that's not. Yeah.
I think we should do a Kickstarter campaign to get you some foam. Let's see what else people have been saying. Well, people just saying pretty much that the gloss ones will keep them shiny, but again, I'm not sure. Mickey Genva doesn't varnish. Now, is this just people that paint to an exceptionally high standard and want to paint for display purposes don't bother varnishing their models? Because it can, I wouldn't say varnish ruins the model, but it can take something away from how it looks. But it does make it more suitable for use on the table if you're going to be picking it up constantly. So if it's on display, you probably don't want to varnish it because you're not going to be touching it.
I think they make them look less real, but then Depends if you want to go for shiny or real, you know?
Well, I tend to, if it's a metal model, then I'll do gloss varnish and then matte varnish over it. And if it's plastic, I'll just do matte varnish. So all my models are varnished. Everything is varnished. Terrain, everything.
Well, I mean, anything Mickey says, I'm going to listen to because she's a flipping amazing painter.
Yep, she certainly is. Benjamin Powell says Mephiston Red dries up quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, which paints have you found dry up the fastest, Mr. Remington, mostly?
I already told you. See,
Apart from the one you mentioned.
You just switch off when I talk, don't you? I said Mephiston Red, Wild Rider Red, okay, and Avalon Sunset.
Do you not find the metallics dry up?
Yeah.
For me, I've actually found the worst offenders are Troll Slayer Orange.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one, yeah.
And there's the gold and brass as well. Let me see what the gold one's called. It is Gehenna's Gold. Has really thickened up big time since I started using that.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one too.
Yeah, so I've started using mainly other companies for my metallic paints. Very, very unfortunate indeed. Benjamin Powell likes your idea for gemstone Sigmarines, by the way.
Yeah, I'm a fountain of ideas, you see. I've had £1 million ideas in the past. Do you remember that? Do you know when, before everyone had mobile phones, right? I had this idea where you could have a phone that if different people were ringing you, you'd get different ringtones, so you'd know who was calling.
But you didn't put your idea into practice and then someone else came up with it.
No, and I'll tell you another one. Stuffed crust pizzas, right? Well, I had an idea of within the stuffed crust and within the cheese, you'd actually have like, Frankfurters and kind of different flavors in there. That's been ripped off too.
Oh dear, oh dear. Dan de Jong says gemstone elves would be nice. I think that would be pretty cool. Right then. So let's stop looking at these paints for a minute. And for anyone that's just tuning in, you'll notice that we don't have a guest. That's due to technical difficulties with American internet providers, which is going to be remedied at some point over the next couple of weeks, and then we're going to get him on again. We did manage to get a very brief chat with him beforehand, which was a very emotional moment for Mr. Remington, who'd been looking forward to that for at least 6 or 7 years, I'm led to believe.
I was waving my arms and everything, but he didn't notice me.
Now, we do have plenty of red-hot, steamy segments for everybody tonight, though, so don't worry. And one of them, by popular demand, I think we should possibly do that now, before people start salivating too much. I want to get that out of the way. So, Mr. Remington, I believe you have music prepared for a brand new segment. Popular demand. It was mainly Skeleton Flower and Mickey Jenber pushing for it, in which Remington is going to play some wonderful music while I show off my luxurious hair. And while this segment is going on, I want everybody in the audience to type adjectives to describe my luscious locks. Okay, are you ready, Mr. Remington?
Yeah.
Okay, let me just lower my headphones a little bit so I can get the right amount of swish action. I'll turn my volume up so I can still hear the music there.
You're going to lock the camera?
Yep, it's locked on me. Right, off you go, Mr. Remington.
Sexy and you want my body, come on, let me know if you think I'm too sexy. Come on, baby, let him know. Yeah.
I think that's quite enough. Right, now we're going to go to the wall of adjectives. Here we go. So, Benjamin Powell says groovy. Dan de Jong, godlike. Skeleton Flower Glorious. I don't know, 46. Lush, and then a series of heart symbols. MC1 Gamer just says this is disturbing on so many levels. I don't agree with that. Let's see. The Ladies Man Ra says full, which is a great name. What else have we got? Benjamin Powell, very groovy. Skeleton Flower, naughty. Kai Baker, tremendous. Let's see. MC1 Gamer, dish luscious, which is a new one, definitely. Apparently, this is the best night of Skeleton Flower's life. So
both got luxurious hair, haven't you?
The only way that's going to be beaten, I think, is if Sigvald actually turns up at his front door. I might have trouble competing with that. Let's see. Ramvi says it's too long.
No, I disagree. I think if you do that section again, you should be like putting product in your hair while the music's going and like hairspray it up and then just see what it looks like after like 30 seconds.
Ronnie Dodd said heavenly. And that is the opinion of someone that matters as well, because I think Ronnie Dodd is on the Golden Weasel voting committee, isn't he? So there's someone whose opinion you can surely trust. And of course, Skeleton Flower as well is on that voting committee. And we're going to be picking another member for that committee tonight when we get to the What the Hell Is That segment.
Oh, it's a great one tonight. It's going to be really, I've made it really hard. I've been quite inventive as well this week.
Let's see. Wasgob said that I have Donald Trump's secret. No, my hair is all my own, don't worry. Bazooka J. Rambo, Swishalicious. They're getting quite creative in there, aren't they? Wasgob looks very, 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 very excited. I'm not even going to repeat what he says. It's a little too wild and inappropriate for a family show. Pezapoo is arming himself with some lotion, apparently. I'm not going to speculate on what that's for. We can only imagine. So, Mr. Remington.
Yes.
What have you been painting this week?
Oh, funny you should say that, Andy. Well, I was going to show you and Shawn, hope he's watching this now, some what I've been painting this week, and maybe you could like grade it for me.
Well, I think we can get the audience to grade it since we don't have Shawn at the moment.
Okay, well, if you didn't know, Shawn runs this company called Blue Table, and when you get them to paint your miniatures, you get them to, you ask them, well, you tell them what grade you want it painted at, between level 1 and level 5 or 6. And level 1 is kind of just real basic, and level 5 and 6 is like, you know, cabinet award-winning style. So you let me know what you think. Is this a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? All right. Now I'm not proposing to say I'm like Mickey Genver's standard. I'm not, but it'd be nice to know where you think I stand. So this is this is culprit number 1. Can you all see that?
We cannot see it yet. If you're trying to screen share,
I have to screen share. All right, and I have to make sure you don't see what the hell is that as well.
Yeah, you don't want to accidentally reveal the solution to what the hell is that, do you?
I don't. All right, this one, here it comes. All right, you see that?
Yep, there we go.
What do you think of that? Now, Shawn says that the how good a miniature is depends on how close you get up to it. And as you can see, this is blown up quite big. If I blow it up even more, you can see that the you can kind of see the flaws in my painting. So,
yeah, does it stand up to scrutiny when you're holding it right up to your eyeball, or does it need to be at arm's length, or does it need to be an entire tournament hall away to look good?
Yeah, well, bits of it are. Could probably do with a bit more work. But look, when you put it from that angle, you think, oh, that looks amazing. Now, my Stormcast are all going to be like old guys, you know, like from Excalibur, you know, like in that last battle at the end when they're all kind of bearded old knights. That's how I'm going to have my Stormcast. Anyway, that's one.
So they're kind of going to be old age pensioners.
Pensioners. No! Right, anyway, here's the next one. No one's watching this anyway. They're all painting their figures, aren't they? Here's the next one. How about that? That's the other day.
Oh, by the way, while people are looking at that, I'll just see what they rated your previous miniature.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, give me a rating.
So Mickey Genver gave it a solid 6.
Whoa, no way. She's being too kind.
I think they might be voting out of 10 here rather than on the blue table painting scale.
Oh, okay.
MC1 Gamer gives it an 11.
That's nice.
Benjamin Powell, 8 out of 10.
Okay, we're going out of 10.
The Ladies Man Ra, 7 Andys out of 10 on the Andy luxurious scale. Let's see. Okay, and here's what people are saying about this guy. In fact, give us the lowdown on this model first, and then I'll tell you what people are saying about this one.
This is the dwarf from Silver Tower. So I could have done better with the eyes, but I'm telling you now, that area there is so frigging small. There's just, you don't see enough faceage on the dwarves. It's so hard to do.
Is it the skin?
Well, I reckon there should be like an eyebrow there. I could always, I don't know. I gave up in the end. I was like, look, people ain't going to look that far. They're going to look. That's how big it is in real life, like that. See that?
Yes.
So I'd give that a 7 out of 10. 7.5 out of 10 as well. Come on.
Well, here's what people are saying. We've got a 6 out of 10
No,
from Nigel Wilshire. We've got Ramvi, 4, I'd say, but I'm a -11, he says, about his own paintwork, I imagine there. Let's see. Sebastian Blau, Slayer is at least a 7.
thank you, Step. Someone talking sense finally.
Hell Thoron also agrees, but he actually says that it's 7 and 64ths out of 10, which is very, very specific.
Okay. Come on, look. I've got edge highlight in there. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, shall I go to the next one? There's just 1 or 2 left. Here's the next one.
Bazooka J. Rambo gave that one a 7. Dan de Jong, 7.8.
Okay, what about this one?
Ooh.
I've got to talk about these bases. What I've done this Mountain Dew texture paint on the bottom, and then I've like painted, like glossed it all different colours to make it look a bit zinchy. So I've got to do a few more layers there. So that's going to be my Silver Tower look. There you go. I think that's a solid 7.5, 7.
That is quite solid, all right.
That's all right. I mean, look, these are the gemstones. They could be a lot better. So I'm looking forward to, using these paints.
Yeah, I think those gemstones in another colour that stands out would look very tasty, wouldn't they?
Yeah, I've got to touch up the foot. So, none of these are 100% finished, but,
Well, Benjamin Powell gives this one a 9 out of 10.
Wow. I think Benjamin's got a crush on me, and I don't blame you. Here's the last one. Okay, here is the last one indeed. Here it comes.
Anyone else got a rating for the pink horror?
Now, this is one I started at the start of this show. So I would, on the Shawn rating, I would put that at a 2. This is like speed painting. This is just base coated really. So you can see the transformation, where it comes from and where it's got to be. But yeah, I really enjoyed painting this Nubian hero.
You can see where it's going, can't you, with the paintwork?
Yeah, I got much better with the eyes this time. Just got to do that little white dot on the pupil to get that. Got to do the lips, obviously all the gems. There's a lot of work to do on that.
It's well on the way though.
Yeah.
By the way, Sebastian Blau actually changed his pink horror vote to 7.5.
Oh, what from what?
I don't think he voted actually. So yeah, just 7.5. Dan de Jong gives the what was that guy's name again? That's the Excelsior, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the War Priest Excelsior. I'm totally ripping off Games Workshop's one of it.
Well, Dan de Jong gave that a solid 7.3.
Do you know what? I might actually convert that and put like an afro on his head coming out. That look wicked then.
Let's see. Oh, Bazooka J. Rambo gave the pink horror a 6 until you finish the gems.
Okay.
So very demanding audience we've got here. Now, the ladies' man Ra is wondering how you actually paint eyes, or how anyone paints eyes for that matter. So, shall we give some eye painting tips right now? in our capacity as expert professional painters?
Yeah, sure thing, sure thing. I mean, let me just, I've just shared this one. This is one I forgot to share this one with you. There's obviously different techniques. I mean, I was trying to copy Amy Snuggs. I don't know if Amy's in the audience. I was trying to copy Amy's Fire Slayer eyes that she did. She did them kind of glowing, which kind of makes sense with those guys because the faces are so small. Here is the Telebral Shard. So obviously I haven't finished the base yet, but this one's a tricky one. I'd give that one a solid 7 too. Come on, maybe a little more. But with these eyes, I start with do the flesh color first, and then try and leave it dark, and then I just put a little white thing there, and then you've got the black bit that's optional for the pupil. That's how I do eyes, anyway. Takes a very steady hand.
It certainly does. Now, the way I paint an eyeball is pretty much white, black dot in the middle. But that does occasionally end up making them look a little bit crazy. If you don't get those black dots in exactly the right place, they can look a bit ventriloquist dummy-like, with their eyes all over the place. I don't know if you saw those halfling chefs that I did. In fact, you know what? I'm going to drag up a picture of those chefs right now, because I think they'll be a good illustration of my eye painting technique. So I'm just going to grab those. Mr. Remington, if you would like to do a little dance or something to entertain the audience for 20 seconds.
Okay. I don't dance, guys. I've got 2 left feet. You didn't know already. I'm the guy that makes you dance, but you know, you don't want to see me dance. I just can't keep a straight face. I look like a total cock, whatever I do. And believe me, I used to get forced to go to dance classes.
Oh dear, oh dear. Right, well, here we go.
This is how not to do eyes.
Yeah, this is how you'd make your models look like ventriloquist dummies. White dot, black dot. And then to avoid having to do too much precision, you'll notice that they're all looking sideways. Because then it doesn't matter if I smudge over the edge a little bit with the black. I can just cover it in skin, rather than having to go in and correct the actual eyeball again. So rather than what Remington looks like when he dances, if you want to look like a cook instead, then here are some tips for you.
Oh, thanks for that, Andy.
Look at that. Beautiful halfling cooks there. If anyone wants to divulge any eye painting tips in the chat, then we'll happily read them out. Bazooka Jeramo actually loves the mad eyes.
They look better from a distance. That's true.
That's a bit harsh. Dreddy says that my quote for this year is, "I can just cover it in skin." Yes, that is my serial killer catchphrase.
I think you should put them on Call Me You're Not for sure. See what you get.
Just that picture of them as well, just resting on a newspaper. It's quite a diorama they've got going on there.
I mean, the thing is, guys, if you've got as many figures to paint as I have, or you know, have ambitions to paint, then you have this quandary, right? Do you spend hours and hours trying to do a competition style paint job on one miniature, or do you actually want to get them on the table and be able to play the game that you bought them for? So I'm kind of in the middle. You know, decent paint jobs, and I want to play the game.
That's the eternal question, isn't it? How much time do you spend on your miniatures? Because it depends. If you're a competition painter, that's one thing. If you're a gamer first and a painter second, a lot of people just don't bother painting their miniatures and just play with them. But I think we are definitely firmly in the camp of the ultimate goal of painting is to play the game, but everything in that game needs to be painted. I think we're on the same page there, aren't we?
Oh, absolutely. I was talking to Pezapoo, and he wants to meet up sometime for a Silver Tower game. But it would have had to have been with unpainted miniatures. So now we've put it back a few weeks. Hopefully, I can get enough painted to play the game with all painted models. That's the goal.
Indeed. With board games, though, I think it's a little bit different. Maybe not so much with the Silver Tower because they are high quality, like proper Games Workshop miniatures. But with most board games that come with miniatures, I'm less concerned about them being painted.
Right.
Because it's more of a casual, just take it out the box and just start playing immediately kind of thing, isn't it? Rather than building up an army and putting it on the battlefield. Because you're already playing on a board, which is generally a little bit more abstract than actual terrain. You don't have 3D hills and things like that. So I think for a board game, you don't necessarily have to have them painted.
Yeah.
I don't want to see board game pieces all primed the same colour, though. That's one thing. They either have to be painted or in their original colour, because usually with board games, maybe not with the Silver Tower, but with a lot of them, like the monsters will be a different colour from the heroes and that kind of thing. So I know that's the case with Dungeon Saga, so I wouldn't be too concerned playing that with unpainted miniatures. Let's see what people have been saying here. Kai Baker says, flock the priest's head.
And why not?
If that's what you're thinking, that's going to be trending worldwide if you actually do go ahead with that. Benjamin Powell, mad eyes are perfect for chefs. There we go. Can't argue with that. Hooves of Doom, Andy has high culinary tastes, based on the fact that I painted some halfling chefs. So, Mr. Remington.
Yes,
shall we go into your favourite part of the show?
What might that be, Andy?
That might be the legendary. What the hell is that? So before you actually reveal it, let's point out to everybody that whoever guesses which miniatures make up this collage, if you correctly guess all of them, you will join the voting panel for the Golden Weasel Painting Awards, which is going to be very, very soon. The category that went up last night, I can't even remember what it is now. Most over-elaborate base, I think it was. So if you're in the Andy and Rem Show Facebook group, you can be entering all these awards. All of them are still eligible to enter. There's going to be a couple more. And then this is episode 50. On episode 52, which is, of course, the 1-year anniversary, then we're going to be presenting all the awards. So the voting is going to take place in the week prior to that. So there'll be a couple more, but you don't want to leave it too long. So, Mr. Remington, do you have the image and the What the Hell Is That theme song all ready to go?
It's just coming as soon as I press this screen share. Yes.
Right. Are you ready to guess, folks? Dun, 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 dun.
All right. Here it is. Can you see that?
There we go.
What the hell is that? 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 Only Andy and Remington know. What the hell is that? 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 Only Andy and Remington know. What the hell is that, ladies and gentlemen? Now, if you're a fan of the 1979 film, or was it 1980, The Thing by John Carpenter, you'll appreciate this concoction of models that I have created. 4, indeed.
Yeah, so let's just go through the obvious things. We've got a pair of legs, or it looks like more than a pair, and they seem to be hooved. We've got something above that, which I can't identify. Then we've got what appears to be some kind of rat, followed by some kind of big flaming tool.
Exactly.
What the hell is that?
It is. It could be a kind of a new Skaven. What's that big monster they call in the Skaven army?
I can't remember.
Abomination.
Yeah, that's it. Hell Pit.
Yeah, that's right. This is my homemade abomination. Now I can't read the comments because I'm screen sharing. So Andy, you have to go.
I'll read you out some guesses.
Oh, okay.
So Christopher82 just says it's a flaming rat centaur. Now I think this is actually a combination of several models. So if it was just one model, then you would probably be on the right track, but unfortunately not. Let's see. So there are 4 different models here, so I'm only going to go for people that have guessed 4. So I'll read them out and you tell me, don't tell me which ones they got right, just tell me how many they got right.
Okay, so do it.
So Benjamin Powell says Skaven, Empire Horse, Dark Elf Horse, hot dogs.
So close with the hot dogs.
So close.
They look like hot dogs or like someone burning marshmallows.
They do, don't they? Let's see. Sebastian Blau. Metal Dark Elf Horse Hero, Plastic Swordsman. And that's all he's guessed. Mini Warrior. Great Sword, Screaming Bell, Doomfire Warlock, Flagellants. Any of those correct?
Yes.
How many?
1 or 2.
Dave Nat says Bright Wizard, Skaven, Handgunner, Doomfire Warlock.
Null point.
Hooves of Doom, Doomfire Warlock, Great Sword, Lone Rat from Skaven Kit, Bright Wizard.
People have to be more specific with the Skaven thing. It's obviously Skaven, but
yeah, I think they do. A bit more specific there. It's obviously going to be Skaven, isn't it? So if you think of a Skaven model that has a flaming hot dog decoration on its head, you're going to be halfway there, aren't you?
That is a separate model, by the way.
Ratface, Great Swords, Clan Rat Banner Top, Dark Rider, Empire Wizard.
Null point. No, 1 point. 1 point.
1 point there. Dan de Jong, Doomfire Warlock, Great Sword, Skaven Slave, Chaos Knight.
Say again?
Doomfire Warlock, Great Sword, Skaven Slave, Chaos Knight.
1 point.
1 point there. This is a really difficult one. People are having some serious trouble with this. I think it's because all the images have been combined into one hideous abomination.
All right, let me give you a clue. The Skaven bit is a very small part of the actual model.
Is it a very small part of a very large model or a medium-sized model?
No, not small, or it's just a small part of a standard model. The top one, which no one has got right yet, is a small part of a very big model. Not very big, but big. Say big model. Come on, any more guesses? Come on.
Let's see.
What do you think, Andy? Have you got any ideas?
Well, I suppose since no one's getting it at the moment, I'll give a few guesses. I suspect that the one at the top, it looks like someone is holding those things into the flame. So maybe one of the new dwarves, like the Magma Droth, maybe?
Keep going.
But I'm not sure which one actually holds things into the flames. I can't remember the name of the actual character that sits on top of it, but that's going to be my guess, if that helps anybody. And the rat, I have no idea. The one below that, it looks like someone's pelvis region with a rather magnificent codpiece.
You're correct.
But I don't know who exactly. But he's kind of armoured and shiny looking, so I think he's slightly higher up than just a regular soldier.
That's a good line of thought.
So perhaps something along the lines of a warrior priest, maybe?
Keep going.
Well, that's just, I don't know if I can go any further down that road. And the horse legs, dark, obviously, they've got spiky bits dangling down, so you would suggest it might be evil. I'm not sure which evil horse, though. Maybe an incarnation of a chaos character like Archaeum, something like that.
Okay, fair play. Null point. Okay, oh man, I've confounded you all now. I know some Games Workshop staff watch this show, and I'm intrigued. Maybe they got it right.
We've got another guess before you reveal it, though.
All right, maybe Shawn might have got these right.
I don't know, but here we go. Wasgob says Halfling Hot Pot, Clan Rat Banner Top, Baneblade Turret, and Chaos Knight.
Null point.
Mini Warrior, Marauder Horseman, Phoenix, Doomwheel Greatsword.
Un point.
And then we've got a very legitimate guess here from Dreddy. Stormcast Barbecue Grill, Stormcast Attack Rat, Stormcast Crotch, and Stormcast Weaponry.
I'd love to say that was correct, but it's null point.
And I think this will be the final guess. Sebastian Blau. Empire Hero General in plastic, Chaos Dwarf roasting sausages, Metal Dark Elf Hero on steed, and Giselle Loader.
Now, with the Giselle Loader, it's closer than anyone's ever been with that, but null point.
None of the others were correct. I think you've stumped everyone this week, so I think we're going to have to do without an extra member of the committee.
Well, so what about Certain Flower? He got it right last week.
Well, he's going to be on the panel, but we were looking for an additional person this week, but I don't think we're going to find one.
I've stumped you all.
I think you have.
All right. Are you ready for the reveal?
Oh, we've got one more guess.
Ooh.
Let's see. Dark Rider, Empire Greatsword, Warp Lightning Cannon, Skull Grinder.
Say again?
Dark Rider, Empire Greatsword, Warp Lightning Cannon, Skull Grinder.
Un point. Now, where I've stumped most of you guys is the bottom one. Yes, it is a dark elf model, but you look carefully at the legs. There's not just 2 legs, but 2 pairs of legs.
TFF Baz actually guesses the bottom one. So we'll just have to accept guesses for one at a time now. He says the Scourge Runner Chariot. Is that right?
It is right.
Right, so someone's got the bottom one. If anyone can get 2 of them to take the lead.
No, we've got to go to the reveal, man.
Yeah, go on. I think it's time.
Here comes the great reveal. What the hell?
Bum, bum.
What was that? It were these.
We can't see it yet.
Can you see that?
We can see a distorted version of the first image at the moment. We're just waiting for your internet to catch up.
Oh, no way.
So the suspense is killing us right now.
Can you see that?
Not yet.
Clear as day to me. Hold on.
I'm going to move the camera over to me and just run my fingers through my hair a bit to buy us a little time. Look at the length there.
See, Andy. Right, and I'll start screen sharing again.
Look at that amazing, luxurious hairline as well.
Okay, what about that?
Right, I think we've got it. Here we go. Ba-ba-ba-bam. Well, so a couple of people said greatsword, but a few of them did. One person got the chariot. No one got Pterodon. I don't think anyone got the Warlock Engineer either.
No, it's an old model. That was a toughie, that was.
Yeah, that Pterodon is a really difficult one.
It is, but you see, there's been so many smart asses in the last few weeks that got it right. I just thought, you know what? I'm going to try and stump your wall this week. But the greatsword, if you'd have said greatsword, I would have given you that. It's the kind of a champion in the greatsword unit. Saw his codpiece. And the Scourge Runner Chariot, I'm disappointed. You must have known that was a Dark Elf horse. And the top 2, well, I think they're probably a little too difficult, but there you go.
Well, you managed to stump everybody.
Yeah.
Dandy Young says, who even has a Pterodon?
I don't know. I think everyone went for the other conversion with them, didn't they?
The other options.
Cheeky guys.
Well, you've all been stumped by Remington. That means no additional panel member for the Golden Weasel voting. So it's going to be, at the moment, it's us, Skeleton Flower, and Ronnie Dodd, I believe. So we'll be able to pick up one more person next week, and then it'll be time for voting. So 5 people on the panel is probably a good number anyway. So we're less likely to get any ties in there. Also, if anyone wants to suggest any categories for the last couple of Golden Weasel Awards, then feel free. It's best doing that in the permanent comments after the show, though. So we're more likely to be able to keep track of it. So, another thing that we need to look at today, if I can fire up the old screen share again.
Apparently, people are saying I should get 2 votes. I
don't know about that.
Every time I stump the audience, I get another vote.
I'm not behind that idea whatsoever.
Come on, it'd be like the Democratic superdelegates, wouldn't it?
Oh God, let's not start on that. Okay, cheeks. The number of backers has gone up quite a bit since last week, I believe, and the amount is slowly creeping up towards double. 50 hours to go, so just over 2 days, and the last couple of days are usually the busiest because people search Kickstarter by time ending soonest. So a lot of people are going to be exposed to my cheeks very soon. And the stretch goals haven't been updated since last week because it hasn't made that much progress, although the stinky seed has actually been unlocked, and also hamster bait. It hasn't been updated on the graphic yet, but that has been unlocked as well. So hopefully we can get all the way to Hamstar the Ham Droid. And also, the artist is currently working on some Kickstarter exclusives. So if we bust through £3,000, then there's going to be a couple of really, really tasty, juicy things just on the other side. So I'm hoping we're going to do that over the next day or so.
I'm thinking Remington.
Well, there is one particular person who has taken the Design Your Own Hamster pledge. They've actually taken 2 of them, and that particular person is leaning towards creating the Andy and Rem hamsters.
Wow.
So they must be a really big fan of this show to spend £300 on that.
His name will echo in eternity.
It will. I'm not going to reveal his name right now, just in case he goes bankrupt and can't actually pay. But after all the funds have cleared, then we'll definitely personally thank that person.
That's awesome.
It certainly is. Very, very exciting times for cheek lovers worldwide. So expect to see some juicy updates. I actually saw something else that's going to be revealed very soon as well, which is going to be a Kickstarter exclusive item that isn't a card, which is going to be free for everybody very, very soon. So exciting times ahead.
So Andy, is it possibly too soon to say, but I get this. You know, when you make a new album or you do a new single or something, or you do a tour, the first question people ask is, "Oh, what are you doing next?" And you're like, "I don't know. I've just done this." So what are you doing next, Andy?
Well, if Cheeks is an unprecedented success and goes completely nuts in the last couple of days and makes millions, then I imagine there would be high demand for another Cheeks product hot off the back of that one at some point very soon. If it just does okay and does an acceptable amount of funding, then there may be further Cheeks products somewhere down the line, but it wouldn't be quite as urgent. So I have got another couple of ideas that I've been kicking around in note form for various tabletop games. The 2 that I'm leaning towards at the moment are both board games. They'd be a bit more expensive, obviously, to produce and to buy. And obviously, first thing I'm going to do is pitch those ideas to the good people at WordForge Games, probably, since I'm working with them on Cheeks, so it makes sense. And if it's something they're interested in, then great. And if it doesn't fit in with their company outlook going forward, then I'd just take it round, do the rounds with it, see if anyone else wants to pick it up. But a couple of very tasty ideas, one of them involving piggies. That's all I can say, so no one steals my idea before it's actually committed to.
I'd like to know what you plan on wearing in your presentation. I mean, do you like go to a boardroom and like you have a sketch pad thing or like PowerPoints? Will you wear orange?
If I were to deliver a PowerPoint presentation, then I would certainly wear 100% orange. I think I actually should apply to go on The Apprentice and wear nothing but 100% orange suits. I wonder if I'd be fired right on the spot on episode 1.
Now, what about long term? What, 5 years' time, Andy?
Well, 5 years' time, I'll be sitting on a giant throne made from gold coins, and I'll be literally fighting off offers to design games with a long golden selfie stick.
I mean, what about, I'm throwing in golden nuggets here, Andy. You've got to give me a percentage. Cheeks, the computer game, or Cheeks, the app?
Well, Cheeks is an IP that certainly lends itself to apps, I feel. very just a very cutesy kind of casual sort of game. So it would certainly be something that would have appeal, I think, in the app market. So we'll have to wait and see on that front. But that is something that's definitely passed my mind at various points.
Good. Make sure you don't pass me over on that one, Andy. Remember where you heard it first.
The place I heard it first, I think, was somewhere in the back of my own brain about a year ago.
That's funny. Funny you say that now, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm sure we won't forget you, though.
Hmm.
Maybe we'll put you in the right at the end of the credits. Because you know when you're playing a game and the credits are about 15 minutes long and you end up skipping them after 10 minutes?
I kind of skip them straight away.
Well, I try and watch them because occasionally you'll have a little thing at the end, you know, like at the end of films, where they'll give you a little teaser of what's coming next.
Oh, yeah, like in the Marvel films, yeah.
Yeah, but it's so difficult with games, though, because there are just so many hundreds and thousands of people involved in it, and they have to list every single one. And then each one of them has to personally thank their parents, their children, their significant other, their pet hamsters.
I watch it for the music. Who did the music? That's what interests me.
Also, not only that, but then they translate it into 5 different languages, and you have to watch all of them. All the different studios that did all the translations and whatnot for games.
Now, Andy, talking about games, you know, it's been massive this week. Total War, Warhammer. And if you can see my screen, oh my God, look what I got as a birthday present. My birthday's on Friday, but my best mate gave me this special edition Warhammer Total War. It looks amazing. And I put it on, it's 3 CDs in this wonderful tin box. And, you get these leaflets with it, and look who's on the back. You see Joey Berry on the back. Do you remember Joey Berry? She's part of the team that's brought us this game. It's pretty awesome. But I put the game up, and it went on to Steam and everything. And hopefully I got the Chaos Warriors just in time. And I pressed double-click the game. It finished downloading. And then a message came up saying, your computer is only 32-bit. And this game requires 64-bit. You can't. No. So I've been like, oh man, I've been so looking forward to playing this game, and now it seems like I've got to spend like £600, £700, £800 on getting a better PC and a better, I'm still running like Windows Vista or Windows 7. Anyway, yeah, I'm screwed. I'm trying to save money. So,
well, first of all, you're going to have to upgrade that PC at some point.
Yeah.
Also, as far as birthdays are concerned, then in the audience earlier, I think I saw that it was Rob Lloyd's sweet's birthday today. So happy birthday to you, if that is the case, and I'm remembering correctly. Wasgob says, happy 40th, Rem.
40th? What's he on about? I'm 34.
Well, we can let the audience make up their own mind on that. But I think they suspect you might be older than 34.
Why?
Based on your taste of certain fantasy films of a certain era.
Christ.
I think they may suggest that you're a tiny bit over 34.
I might be a tiny bit over 40 as well.
Here's an interesting one for you. Guess our ages right now.
No.
Yeah.
The only people that do stuff like that are young people. You know what I mean? Or older people that might feel flattered.
Well, I seem to remember when we had Vince on the show, we were trying to figure out his age. And you were encouraging the audience to guess how old Vince was.
Well, I don't think no, Vince is younger than me. I can't believe that. I mean, the guy is just a fountain of knowledge and maturity. And to think I'm like a total kind of dork compared to him.
Well, I think the thing is, with Mr. Vince, he's got so much knowledge of game and rules and game design all in his brain, it's actually pushed some of the hair off his scalp. That's my theory.
I always imagine Vince, I can imagine him with long hair like that, and kind of, he puts eyeliner in his eyes and he look really gothic. I imagine him as that guy.
Right, we've got some age guesses here. Mickey Jenver, I think, maybe having a little joke here. She suggests that maybe I'm 53. Yeah. Wasgob is actually very close and says that I'm 32. Very, very close indeed. Benjamin Powell says Rem 42, Andy 37. What? Nope. Dan de Jong, Rem is 33, Andy is 27.
Nice, good guess.
I think we'll both accept that.
Yeah.
Dave Nat, Andy 30, Rem 34.
I'll take that.
Wasgob, Andy is 31. Yes, that is correct. And Dan de Jong, Rem 34. Well, if people think you're 34, I think you can just run with it, can't you?
That's it. Tell you, if I have a shave and I have my haircut, I'll look even younger, I tell you.
Well, we are fountains of youth on this show. I haven't lost any of my boyish good looks yet. Maybe have one or two grey hairs creeping in, but you probably can't see them on camera. And the overall luxurious shape of the hair, I think, distracts from that anyway. Let's see. The Dr. Pepper machine thinks you're 35.
And he would be more or less right.
Yeah, let's go with that. So before we embarrass Remington by revealing precisely how ancient he actually is, shall we move on to our next segment of the show?
We should.
Okay.
What is it, by the way?
Okay, the next thing we're going to touch on, Nerd Confessions.
Oh.
Which is something you wanted added to the show, and it's been a huge success so far, so much so that we had one comment last week. So here we go. This is from Rural Goblin. Nerd confession. As a 20-year-old, oh no, I read 20-year-old White Dwarfs on the train because he dislikes the new White Dwarf.
Fair play.
There you go. Now, I believe you have a Nerd Confession song, don't you, before we go into some new ones?
I was working on something that goes a little bit like this. What's your nerd confession, baby? What's your nerd confession? What's your nerd confession, baby? I'd like you to tell me all.
Is that it?
That's it. Sorry. It's a bit kind of jazzy, isn't it? Come on, it's a bit Corey and Bailey way.
Okay, has anyone in the audience got a nerd confession? Something that gives you away as the ultimate nerd. Let's see. Oh, by the way, Sebastian Blau challenging us here. He says that Vince is not a fountain of knowledge.
Well, possibly not, but he comes across, you know. I'd like Vince to wear a little crown on his head. It just, you know what I mean? It'd give him that.
It would complete the look.
Master, doesn't he?
Wasgob, nerd confession. I collect old White Dwarves. I have a collection from 128 to 315. Okay, I think I have every White Dwarf from 198 to... I'm not sure if I went all the way up to 300.
I don't think those confessions are nerdy enough at all. I think they're pretty cool confessions.
Let's see. Oh, Christopher82, nerd confession. William Shatner is in my playlist.
That's pretty awesome. How about this? I will trump that with Leonard Nimoy's album is in my collection.
Well, I think you're definitely on a par with each other there. Does that have his Hobbit Bilbo Baggins song on it?
I can't remember. It might do.
That's the one everyone loves, isn't it? Alexandra Dumitru, I have read Mein Kampf in 2 languages. I'm not sure that qualifies as a nerd confession. Let's see. Dan de Jong, I am your father. Nerd confession. I'm not sure whose father.
Here's my nerd confession. Sometimes I'm too scared to paint models. I'll just literally keep them in the box and just stare at them for ages.
We've got one from Mini Warrior, nerd confession. I have a 10-hour pre-game ritual.
Wow.
10 hour. I think you're going to have to go into a bit more detail there. Then we've got Dice Miniature Paint Guy. I love the smell of new plastic, fresh from the box. fresh plastic, and people tend to like the smell of a freshly peeled open book, don't they?
And they do, me included. Ramvi says, I'm a comic book reading, video gaming, Warhammer playing Stormtrooper at 33 years old. How is that nerdy? I think that's cool.
Yeah, Christopher82 remembers the Bilbo Baggins song, I think. I think we're going to have to get you to play that at some point.
Okay.
Do you remember how it goes? You might have to prepare it for next week. For anyone who's wondering, yes, Leonard Nimoy did sing a song about Bilbo Baggins. And he actually had his pointy Spock ears at the time, I think, in the video. It's a very interesting music video, to say the least. So if anyone wants to hear Mr. Remington do a cover version of that next week, then let us know in the comments right now.
I think this episode tonight, and it's felt just a little subdued. You know, I think we're both a bit gutted that Shawn couldn't make it on the show.
We are indeed. There is one thing that he would like us to plug on this show, though, which we might as well do now. And we'll also talk about it when we have him on. You know the Valhalla gaming events that he ran?
Oh my God, Steve!
Quite a while.
I had all these questions about. I was going to ask him, and one of them was about Valhalla. It's like we should have a Valhalla in England.
Well, those events, he is actually putting something on in the near future, which is very similar, but based on role-playing rather than wargaming. So anyone who's interested in role-playing and might be interested in heading out to Salt Lake in the United States and staying in a luxury mansion and doing some role-playing, then you should check out the Blue Table Painting blog. Or he's put a video up on it as well on their YouTube channel.
Yeah, if you don't know what Valhalla is, guys, it's something Shawn's been doing every year for the last few years. And one of the locations he had was just this kind of like mountain getaway. And it was like 4-course meals, you know, beautiful walks, like on this ranch in the hills and snow coming down and, you know, all these people playing, you know, 40k Warhammer until like 3 in the morning, just like a total retreat for Warhammer. It looked flipping brilliant. And it looked, you know, it wasn't smelly. It didn't look smelly. And I imagine, like, if people put that on over here, you'd get a lot of smelly wargamers. But this place, it was truly like
heaven.
Valhalla with like Valkyries serving you food. And
do you think it smelled nicer than your bases? I think it smelled of fresh potpourri, like all your models do.
It probably did smell fresher than them because they're 4 years old now.
One of my biggest regrets is not being able to accept an A-list invitation to Valhalla because I couldn't afford a plane ticket at that exact moment. So that was quite unfortunate. And to this day, it still stabs away at my soul. Dreddy says that the Remington quote of 2016 is, "It didn't look smelly."
Thank you.
There you go. So if you die tomorrow, they can just put that on your tombstone. Let's see. Nerd confession from Dave Nat. I have no idea what Valhalla is. Well, you should probably check out Blue Table Painting. Benjamin Powell says that he played his first tabletop RPG tonight.
Ooh.
Well done. He should probably give us more info on that, though. Dan de Jong, nerd confession. I still know my first English verse from Alice in Wonderland, Tweedledum and Tweedledee, that I had to learn in my first English lesson at school. Well then. Not sure what to say to that exactly. Oh, Rob Lloyd, sweet, has a nerd confession. I played and beat the newbie at our club last night. I assume that's just a newbie and not YouTube newbie. There's no result from playing the noob. Lose and you're a loser, win and you're a git. Yeah, that is kind of true, isn't it? I kind of feel that way every time I'm playing against Remington.
How so?
Well, if I win, then I'm expected to win. Because people look at you as kind of this really casual gaming. You just float around. You just enjoy shouting Remington at the dice. You're not that too interested in having any tactical depth to your play.
Oh, come on. I do.
That's the reputation you've got.
Is it?
You can work hard to shatter that reputation, but people haven't heard the tactical genius flowing forth from your mouth in quite a while.
I tell you something, right? I used to watch all Once Bitten 360s videos, and they'd be like, you know, an hour's worth of tactics and pause for thought before turns and everything like that. And then when you actually play the game, you realise it's utter bollocks. Like, you make decisions really on the fly, and time is against you, circumstances against you, and when you're making back reports after, it's only then that you sort of implant all this tactical wisdom and knowledge that you supposedly had during the game. It's utter bollocks. When you're playing the game, there's just so many things going on, especially in like a competitive environment when you've got to play 3 or 4 games in a day. It's absolutely exhausting. So there you go. I'm just real.
Well, I think some people would argue against that, because there are people that know their army inside out so well that they don't do anything on the fly. They plan everything out way in advance, like a chess master. And then whatever they come up against, they know exactly what they're going to do against every potential matchup that they have.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Someone left a comment on the battle report you put up, saying that they're bored because they're bored. This is shit because we play. It's the same old armies. Did you read that?
I did actually.
I was gutted reading that. It was like, well, we've never played with Wood Elves before, and it's like I don't know many other wargamers that put content out where they've got like 10 different races and armies on show. It's like, what more do you want?
I've seen channels where they just have nothing but Stormcast versus Khorne over and over and over again.
Yeah.
I think we've probably got the most variety of many of the battle report channels.
Yeah, man. There's no pleasing some people.
There certainly is not. But people did really take to Cecil the Magical Unicorn, by the way. And I think giving him his own theme music added a lot to the entertainment value of the battle report.
It's kind of creepy music, that was. But yeah, you did a great job of that, Andy. Thank you.
And people are wondering when part 2 of Cecil's legendary saga is going to go up. And I told them to keep an eye on your channel for that.
Right, well, I might get to work on that tomorrow. So there you go. Some more Orc versus Wood Elf fun coming.
That's going to be very exciting. And this one is actual Wood Elves rather than the Sylvaneth tree people as well.
How did you find using them, Andy? Did you like it?
The tree people, I thought there's not a huge variety of units, but they were fun. They have some interesting special rules. I think they would benefit more from those wildwoods if you couldn't burn them down during the game, because they have a lot of rules tied into being close to the woods. They get bonuses, and certain spells can only be cast around the woods and so on. So in games where the entire objective isn't to burn down the wildwoods, I think they would come into play a lot more.
Yeah.
They were fun though. Not as fun as Cecil.
I mean, you annihilated my whole army pretty much with your tree men.
Yeah, those tree lords, dangerous. You really need to shoot them, don't you, before they get to you?
Which is a problem because orcs have really naff shooting.
They do. Ronnie Dodd says Cecil did have good music. Yeah, people agree with that. TFF Baz, Nerd Confession. My friend turned on the TV, random channel, and DS9 was on, and I was coughing up the lines from the scene before the actors.
What's DS?
I assume that's Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
Oh.
Yeah, anytime you're watching anything that has a vast number of episodes, and no matter which one comes on, you can reel off all the lines from the characters. Maybe a bit much. I think programming I could do that with, maybe something like Father Ted, where I've seen every episode a billion times. Can't think of anything sci-fi I could do that with there.
Here you go. Here's a new nerd confession. While we've been talking, I've been putting the gemstones on the pink horror. You're not going to see it there, but I did a mithril silver. I nearly said mithril silver. That's going back to time, isn't it? Mithril. No, what's it called now? Runefang steel. I've put that on the gem. Then on the top, I've put blood for the blood god. And there you go. I've just got a fantastic gem effect.
Without even any of the shiny new gem paints.
No, that's actually awesome.
Well, there you go. By the way, Mithril Silver goes all the way back to beyond this pot, in fact. This isn't even the oldest kind of Mithril Silver.
Right, okay. We've got to wrap it up now, haven't we?
We certainly have. Let me just check my agenda to make sure we haven't missed anything. I don't believe we have. We did the now infamous hair swishing segment that brought in an unprecedented number of viewers while it was going on. So again, ladies and gentlemen, we offer our sincerest apologies that internet difficulties prevented us from having a guest tonight, but we are going to get Shawn on at some point over the next few weeks. He is having brand new internet installed from a different company very, very, very soon. So we'll be able to get that done, and then we can go over some of the topics we were going to discuss today at that point. And we're only 2 weeks away from the 1-year anniversary of the Andy and Rem Show, which is going to feature the Golden Weasel Awards presentations. I'm not sure whether there will be any actual trophies handed out, but there are going to be prizes. We have got a few prizes confirmed already, hopefully one for each category. If you want to get on that voting panel, you better tune in next week and win What the Hell Is That? I'm not sure we should let Mr. Remington do it again, though, because it was a little bit difficult this week.
Hey, come on. I like the idea of amalgamating them, though, into like a creature. I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it might have thrown people off, though. So, of course, as always with this show, don't forget that we are brought to you in association with Asylum Wargaming, as you can see on this beautiful image. Try not to get too depressed, since it does have a picture of Shawn on there as well, and he couldn't make it. But at Asylum Wargaming, if you want to get an A-list discount on your order, then use the discount code ANDY2D6. So, with that, thanks to all our audience for joining us tonight, and I turn things over to our musical maestro to provide us with an outro.
Now, I was pretty convinced, guys, that Shawn Gately would do a spontaneous musical interpretation in dance or song. And if there's one guy on the planet that would be up for doing that, it would be him, right? So if he's watching this show, get something ready, Shawn, because you're gonna do the finale, and it's gonna be awesome. But what I'm gonna have to do now is just a little improvisation, just to see you guys out. Hope you have a great time. I'm loving this half-term week off. It's so nice. Went to the gym today. All right, I'll tell you what I did today in the song. Okay, great. Good night, everyone. Thanks to Asylum, and thanks to Dark Ops. Awesome, guys. Thank you, and all our patrons. Okay, what happens if I do this? Just a typical Remington day. I went to the gym, and then I went shopping at Asda Price. I bought some of their new refined cookies with salted caramel. And then I sat down and had a look at Tinder and Plenty of Fish and Zoosk and any other dating website just to try my luck. And then I hooked up with Andy from Andy and Rem Show. Then I painted some miniatures and realized my life is not geeky or nerdy at all, because I'm not aging and I'm not a geek. In fact, I'm a modern day nerd. I'm just a modern day nerd. I'm just a modern day nerd, but still slightly cooler than Andy
coming soon. Indian Home Show, do you think?